All right, welcome everyone to another awesome and amazing Saturday Cup of Joe with Lim and Bill. Bill, come on, unmute yourself. How you doing today, buddy?
Hey, good morning. How's everybody?
Everybody, I'm sure they're doing fine. Wow, it's already, May the 16th? Woo, time is flying in 2015,
Crazy.
man. I can't believe it. Well, anyway, I hope everyone has had a great weekend, continuing to push on. There's a lot of things that's going on in the world, but I hope you focus on being happy, motivating yourself, getting things done right, and stand on your path of your goal that you're trying to reach, and keep that vision in your head, because I know sometimes no matter what we do, there's going to be something that's going to sidetrack us or it's going to knock us down. And so we have to make sure no matter what we're going through, we want to see the end result and keep going forward. So with that being said, speaking of being knocked down, we're bringing on someone very, very special today. This guy is, I think he's an 8th degree belt and black belt or something like that. He can whoop you, and then he can put you on your back, and then tell you to get up, make you feel good about yourself, and then tell you to go do something and get it done. Lots of positivity, trust me. So and then pray for you at the same time. You know what I mean? So we're gonna bring on someone special here, and we're gonna call him Dr. Breakthrough today. But we're gonna really appreciate Dr. Stan Harris for coming on, but he's known as AKA Dr. Breakthrough. Come on, Dr. Breakthrough. Come on in right now. Unmute yourself, brother. How are you doing today?
Oh, man, I tell you what, business is booming, checks are zooming. I'm happy on purpose, man.
I love it. I love it.
I like to say it's a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy beyond measure to be on the show with you, my brother. Looking forward to having a great time and empower some people, man. And love you guys, your energy and what you're doing to make a difference in people's lives. You know, Lem, some people make money, but they don't make much of a difference. Others make a difference, but they don't make much money. To me, the highest level of success is making a difference as you make money so you can make more of a difference. Oh,
Absolutely.
That's true. That is true. You hit that round the nail early. I love it. I want to tell everyone before we get on here, because sometimes I panic with my guests coming on. I don't know what caliber they are when it comes to internet stuff, because you never know what Google's going to do. I was like, hey, Doc, come on, man, because I already talked to him yesterday, and I got to appreciate you for checking in with me last night, you know. But I was like, hey, Doc, we're going to do this. He's like, hey, man, calm down, Lim. I'm out with my family, man. We're walking right now. And I'm like, what? and it makes sense, because when he came on, he's like, hey, if you guys up to par, and all I need to do is just show up. I'm like, he's right. He is right. Right on the money. How was that walk this morning, by the way?
Oh, man, awesome, man. I tell you, you got to get those juices going early in the morning. And, you know, yesterday my wife and I was our anniversary, and we early in the morning we did what we call love walk. Come on, somebody.
Right.
Walk and talk and pray and whisper sweet nothings. Well, but but yeah, man, it's all about life, man, and enjoying life. And what I found out is if your body is not in good shape, it can pull your business down. You don't have to, because, see, high energy equals high income, and low energy eventually equals low income. So every high income person you know is a person of high energy. Now, they don't all have to be super outgoing and so forth, but they have high energy. You got to be able to sustain high energy for long periods of time, and part of that is taking proper care of this body, you know. And I tell you, you get those juices moving and get things going, man, and you're ready to go. And I knew I was going to be on this powerful show. Did my wheel exercises and everything else, you know. Had 32 ounces of water already, man. So I prayed, read my Bible, did my declaration. I'm ready to go. Come on.
I heard that. So that's good, man. That is awesome. And you're right. You got to have energy, you know. Sometimes I see people who's in the what I call the rat race, and they're going off to work each one. They kind of got their head down, and you can like see them like, here we go. You know, they're doing. You can see that low energy. But those that you know who are staying home or they're about to go do a meeting, and they got the head up high, they're walking faster. They got a different movement about them. And you got it, man. You hit that right on the money. You hit it. All right, so let me ask you this. And I always ask all my guests this. How were you as a child in your teens?
Well, in my teens, I was incredibly wonderful. Now, before that, that's a different story. but let me back up, man. When I was, believe it or not, and by the way, I speak a lot in schools and do anti-bullying rallies and so forth. But when I was a 6-year-old boy, I was out in the middle of a field playing. A gang of teenagers came my way. And Lem, I was so afraid I froze in my tracks. I mean, I didn't even try to run because I figured I'm 6, they're teenagers, they can outrun me. And, and I often tell people, instead of being captured by your fear, we should be catapulted by our fear because there's a possibility I could have run and gotten away, but I'll never know because I never tried. And so many people in life and in business, there's things they'll never know they could have accomplished, they could have done. Even like this morning, we're out in the walk, and then my youngest son was with us, Jonathan, and passing the football to him, and, he's catching them all. And I said, man, I remember, just not even a year ago, you couldn't hardly catch any of them. And I said, and I taught him a quick life lesson. I said, that's the way it is in life. There's a lot of things that you may not be good at. But if you keep practicing and have a good mentor, you can master it. And here you are, you couldn't catch it about a year ago, you could barely catch any of them, now you're catching all of them, and if you would have thrown up your hands and said, oh, I'm not good at this, you would never be good. So as a 6-year-old boy, I was scared. I was out in the middle of the field. I grew up in the ghettos, what we call the hood of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I didn't know it was a hood. I thought everybody lived like that. But anyway, man, but your body gives you signals, and I knew I was in trouble, and these guys grabbed me. And they started punching all over me. Now, I'm a 6-year-old boy. Right? Punching all over me, man. They pick me up, slam me on the ground, start stomping all over me like I'm an ant or a roach. And then, seriously, I'm bleeding from everywhere you could bleed. You would think that was enough. Right. But then one guy flipped me over, took a great big old bucket of tar, poured it on my face, poured it on my body. They took a bunch of feathers, they threw them on me, and they left me there. And I almost died, man. The tar wasn't hot, thank God, but it was thick. I almost suffocated. Somebody finally found me, rushed me to the hospital, got me taken care of. But that was a very traumatic situation. But, actually one of the things I teach people, though, is within your pain is hidden power. And you can use your power to then create profits. Ooh, come on now. So, of course, at the time, it was very traumatizing. And so when I speak to young people, I tell them how I was a victim. Because, again, grew up in a single-parent home. Dad left when I was 3, never came back, never called, never heard from him, And thank God for Mama that was faithful and raised, 5 of us by herself, And she was tough. She had to be. She had 5 boys, right? And but anyway, so I told people I went from being a victim to literally a victimizer. I mean, I had so much rage and anger for a while that, I was like, they talk about having a chip on your shoulder. I had a big old block.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I went from being a victim to then a victimizer to a victor, where I learned to get, power over that. But so it was a troubled. My youth was troubled. As a matter of fact, tried to commit suicide on 2 occasions. Thank God I failed.
Right.
I was speaking last week. I said, hey, some stuff you're supposed to fail at, And if anybody's out there and you're in a hopeless situation, just so you know, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I was I spoke in Barbados. My wife and I, we were there, and I mentioned you, Lem. When we travel, we get to do business and pleasure together. So one day I was preaching in the church. Another day I'm doing a business training. Another day I'm speaking to 1,500 teenagers. And then another couple of days we're just vacationing on the beach, man, just chilling and making money the whole time because of our internet business, leveraging the internet. That's powerful, man, incredible. So I tell people you can mix business with pleasure when you do it right.
Absolutely.
That is so true.
My secretary is commanded to sit on my lap because I married her. Anyway, but I want to say, though, to help people understand, your past does not dictate your future. So you may have had a bad past. You may have had situations that happen. I went through physical abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse. As a matter of fact, I was sharing with my son the other day. I said, you don't even understand. I mean, I've been beat with a extension cord, stripped down naked, been beat with an extension cord till, you're bleeding all over the place. And if you move, you just got hit, bow and arrow, fiberglass bow and arrow set, you name it. I never forget one time, man, my mom said, you better not go out this house, and if you do, I'm going to whoop you all the way home. And I was up at the basketball court, the playground. Man, She wasn't joking. She had a stand court whoop me the whole way home. On the way home, this lady said, that's a shame. You shouldn't be hitting that boy out here like this. My mama said, I'll come and hit you if you get any closer. But so it was a rough situation. But again, through that though, the funny thing about it, my mom is the same one God used to turn my life around. I want to give you a tip. I made this thought, and that is, I said to myself, I want to learn how to protect myself so this doesn't happen again. Right. Now, I want people to hear this now. Think about this. Here's the power of the mind. Matter of fact, I often talk about in my, let's see, you've got one of my books here. Actually, this is the CD version. Well, here it is. Your breakthrough is guaranteed. 7 simple steps to your success. And on the front has a picture of me breaking bricks, and all those bricks have things written like fear, procrastination, all that. And I teach people how to break.
I see that. Right.
But here's what I talk about in that book. When I make up my mind to do something, circumstances align themselves in my favor. When I say I can't, my mind stops trying. But when I ask, how can I? My mind keeps searching till it finds a way. There is a way, and I will find it. And if not, I will invent it. Ooh, come on, man. That's what I'm
I love it, man. I love it.
I'm getting excited with my own talk, man.
Hey, that's what you do because you just, reclaiming it. That's good, man. You're confirming that, baby. That is so awesome, man.
So listen, what happened was my mom wanted a free month of karate lessons. I went with her. They were kicking, chopping, screaming, hollering. I thought, man, this is wonderful. And then here's the funny thing. I got 4 brothers. None of my other brothers went. It was just me. I went and watched. Man, she started getting better and better. Her month ran out. She started paying her money. I tell people, free is good, but when you're serious, you're willing to invest. And, and every month she got better and better. And one day, she got too good. Now, Bill, ask me what's too good.
What's too good?
Her and her boyfriend got in a fight, and she knocked him out cold.
Oh!
He kicked him with a side snap kick to the jaw and knocked him out. I looked at my brother Ronald. Ronald looked at line. We looked at the guy on the ground and we said, man, whatever you do, don't mess with my mama. My mama bad, man. But here was one of my first breakthroughs. I used to see people doing this martial arts stuff on TV, and I thought it was impossible, right? I was like, you got to be superhuman. And all of a sudden, I was like, wait, my mama, if my 5'1" mother could knock out a 6'1" man, I don't know what this stuff is, but I'm about to learn some now. So, and that's one reason I tell people you have to get your breakthrough in business, because some people, it doesn't matter what all the experts are doing. They know you, and when they see something happen for you, now they believe it can happen for them. So I went from thinking things were impossible to possible to then probable if I got a mentor, or in the martial arts we call him a sensei, Japanese word for teacher or instructor.
Right.
So you made a little mistake. I'm not an 8th degree black belt. I'm a 10th degree black belt. And that happens.
There you go.
That happens to be the highest you can go. But listen carefully, Lim. They had an initiation process when I joined, and you had to stand there where the chest and stomach meets, which knocks the air out of you, right? Well, man, the first guy, he about to hit the guy's like, whoa, no, I changed my mind, right? He hit the next guy, knocked the air out of him. The guy's like, man, I quit. I'm looking at like, man, dude, I've been tarred and feathered. What you gonna do? What? I mean, come on, go ahead and knock the air out of me, because I got to learn this stuff. I seen what my mama did. Right? And so sometimes people don't understand it, but oftentimes you got to go through the pain before you can get to the promise. Let me give you this. I'm gonna give you this thought and turn it back to you. Don't allow the pain of the process to keep you from your promise. In other words, you got a goal, you got a dream, you got aspirations. But what people forgot to tell you was life's going to test you, man, to see if you're really serious. And there's a lot of things, barriers you're going to come to, and that's why I love is Dr. Breakthrough. Let me just give you a disclaimer. As Dr. Breakthrough, I can't provide the breakthrough. I just prescribe the breakthrough. However, when you follow my breakthrough prescription, God Almighty provides a breakthrough you desire and deserve. And a breakthrough is exploding through barriers that at one time seemed insurmountable. I mean, I now get to do what I used to think was impossible. Why? Because I saw someone else do it. Then I've shifted my mindset from it's impossible to, okay, it's possible, to, okay, it will be probable if I get started, get a mentor, change my mindset. And so that's why I love what I do, empowering people, man, to break through the barriers. That's why I love what you guys do, man, and that's why we jive together, man. Birds of a feather flock together.
Flock together. Come on with it.
I knew this was going to be good. But I knew it was so good. I used popcorn with me. That's how good I knew.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
All right. So speaking of that breakthrough and the shift, who on the stage of marketing changed you? Who did you see that was doing things that just completely changed you?
Well, first, let me make a confession. I'm also a preacher, and I've been traveling, preached all over the world, all 50 states, 27 countries. And as evangelist, of course, when I preach, I break bricks and boards and stuff too, so that makes people listen, right? Right. So somebody that I respected, an older pastor, was against like marketing and selling and home-based businesses and pretty much, a lot of selling stuff. And so he was older and wiser. I figured, man, if he again it, I'm again it. and I didn't even understand why. So, but make a long story short, I started years later. Like I had a friend of mine that actually, got him coming to church. Myron Golden. I don't know if you ever heard of him, man. Powerful guy. But we were friends in high school, and I was able to lead him to the Lord and teach him some things about spiritual life. And then he's the one that started telling me, man, he says, I keep going to these business trainings. He says, and you do this stuff naturally. He said, you should get in business because, man, you'd be great in business. I'm like, nah, stay away from me, man. I'm preaching. I do contracts and preaching. And I said, And then he asked me some questions. Now, listen to this. Now, this is a guy that I influenced spiritually. I was his teacher in the martial arts and so forth. But now he's going to turn around and influence me business-wise. He says, man, look, people like you to have great influence. He said, you only influence people on Sundays and Wednesdays, and then when you do your revivals. He said, but do people, they spend more time in church or out of church? And by the way, let me drop this. This just came to my mind. Someone taught this years ago, and that is questions stimulate the conscience, accusations harden the will. So when it comes to dealing with children, with business, associated with people, instead of making accusations, we need to learn to ask questions because questions stimulate the conscience, whereas accusations harden the will, right? And so even sometimes when people are wrong, when you make that accusation, they just get hardened in their wrongness, right? Yep. But when you learn to ask the question, it stimulates their conscience, and especially dealing with children and people in the workplace. So anyway, so he asked me this question and it started stimulating. Because remember, if he'd have said, you need to do business, I'm like, man, please get out of here. I'm preaching. I love what I do. I do what I love. You do business. Let me do my business is the king's business, right? Right. But he asked the question. So he said, so a guy like you, he said, let me ask you this question. You have good influence on people. He said, but do people spend more time in church or out of church? And I said, well, obviously out of church, right? It's like, He said, okay. Wouldn't it be wise, now listen now, wouldn't it be wise for you to learn how to help them to be successful in what they're doing out of church, and especially if it's in business, and then when they come to church, they'll have more money to give, and you being a guy of positive influence, you can influence them in the thing they're doing most, which will make them appreciate you even more. I was like, all right, man, all right, you got me. And so it was in the beginning. It was a transition, but he bought me this book called The Greatest Salesman Ever Lived, and watch this now. I was actually upset because he kept saying, man, you were the greatest salesman I know. He said, I'm paying all this money to learn stuff. You do it naturally. He said, man, and so he bought me this book and it sat on my shelf, man. I was mad at him. I was like, man, I don't want no book on no shelf. But after this transition now, I said, oh, wait a minute. And so I went back to that book and I read it, and that was one of the books that changed my life. Matter of fact, I was on an airplane traveling to preach on a revival. I'm reading the book, and I break down in tears, man. I break down in tears, especially when he got to the part about I'm going to sell this to you because I come to you with love because I love me. I now take that love to love you, and I love you enough to give you the best deal to create a win-win scenario.
Right.
And I was like, what? Well, that's what I'm all about. That's what my whole ministry is supposed to be about, loving people and doing what's best for them and helping them. And I was like, so selling isn't what I thought it was, this high-powered, loud-mouth, talking into something they can't use stuff. This selling and marketing is about meeting a need and solving a problem. As a matter of fact, I got started with this one business selling air and water purifications, and also another company that was doing nutritional products, and went to the top of both companies simultaneously, by the way. And people always asked, what's your secret? I was like, well, part of the secret is because I was against this for so long, people saw when I finally started doing business, they was like, wait a minute, if he's doing business, this is the guy that was against it, that must be good. But also because I was coming from a place of authenticity where it's like, I don't want to sell you something to sell you something. I want to help solve your problem, and this thing solves your problem, so I want to get it to you to be a blessing, to be a help to you. As a matter of fact, one company, the owner and I, we used to fly around on a private jet doing meetings, and he used to say, man, this guy, Dr. Breakthrough, he said, this guy can sell ice to an Eskimo. You know, he can recruit people at will. And I'd get up and I'd say, well, you know, I appreciate your compliments, but Eskimos don't need ice. However, if they need some, I want them to get it from me.
Right. No one else.
And I said, I can't sell at will. I said, but what I do is I'm just a problem solver. So I said, and so what happens is I'm not a salesperson per se. I'm just a problem solver. However, when I help solve people's problems, they buy my product and my service, and I get paid, and I deserve to get paid. See, deserve, Latin word from de, meaning from, and serve, meaning service. So when I provide service, I deserve to get paid. And when you realize you deserve to get paid, money just starts coming. Oh, yes, okay. I'm getting happy again. Let me slow down.
Hey, do you?
I love what I do now, man. I can't believe I was against it for so long. I love selling because, as a matter of fact, I even teach a principle from the Bible. I was preaching at one church. I said, hey, if I could teach you guys a principle that could, one thing you could do that would cause you to get the blessing of God on your life, how many of you be willing to do it if it's something you can do? Everybody raise your hand, right? I said, and I'll get you one thing. If you could avoid this, you could avoid being cursed. How many of you would like to know what that one thing is that you could avoid being cursed, but you could get a blessing? Everybody, oh, man, yeah, me. I said, now, I want to make sure y'all positive now. I said, and so I said, open your Bible to Proverbs chapter 11, verse 26. And it says, he that withholdeth the corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it, not giveth it away, selleth it. See, I always thought that, just give everything away, and, God's going to bless you. God said, no, I'm going to bless you when you sell something of value to people that you value. So here's what Solomon said. I have a moral responsibility to sell something of value to people that I value. Now, wait a minute. If it's not valuable, I don't sell it. And if I don't value you as a person, I don't sell it to you. However, if I value you and I have something that's of value, I have a moral responsibility to sell it to you. And not only that, when I do, God says, I'm blessed. And if I have something that you need, see, corn was the staple of the day. People had to have it. They didn't have it, they died. And what I found out today is money's not everything, but it's almost like air. You feel like you're going to die without it.
True.
I told somebody the other day, Lem, I put on Facebook, money is true. Money doesn't buy happiness, but being broke, you can't buy anything.
No, you cannot.
You can't even buy pity these days. Come on now. So anyway, so that was a huge breakthrough for me and changed my whole mindset. And, before, like I said, I didn't want to sell stuff. Now, man, look, I got books. I got book on CDs. My wife got her own book, right? We wrote a book together, Position to Prosper. We just came out with this last week, Computer Love. I got a DVD of me speaking to young people, breaking bricks and boards. I do coaching. I do all kind of stuff now. And the beautiful thing is this, Lem. On 2 occasions, I've been blessed to be able to take 2 people, buy them a car. One case took them to the dealership, let them pick out a car, buy it, and then give them the keys And often when I preach places, I say, how many of you would love to be able to buy somebody a car? Everybody raises their hand. I said, well, won't you go make the money so you can do it then, right?
Right.
But sometimes people feel like, well, you know, because again, that whole thing about selling. So now I got a whole system called Breakthrough Selling Systems. As a matter of fact, I want to give folks a free gift. If you go to Breakthrough Selling Systems with an S, breakthroughsellingsystems.com, you'll get a free 40-minute training. Hey, Lem and Bill, do you guys remember the Bruce Lee movie? I think it was Chinese Connection, when the guy, they were out on that boat, and he says, how about we fight on that island over there, Bruce Lee said. And the guy, he said, he said, the art of fighting without fighting. And so I got a sales course called The Art of Selling Without Selling, or How to Sell Without Being a Sellout. And so, hey, listen, think about this. People love to buy, but they hate to be sold, right? So what I teach people is, if they love to buy, right, you go in the store and they say, can I help you? No, no, no. Why do we say no? Because we think they're about to try to sell us something. Now, isn't it funny when you finally need help, you can't find anybody to help you? But anyway, so people love to buy, they hate to be sold. Oh, somebody about to get a breakthrough right here. Watch this. People love to buy, they hate to be sold. So I don't sell, I just facilitate the buying process. Ooh.
That's awesome.
Oh my goodness. Fire, man.
Okay. Let me do one more thing, man. Let's have some fun here. Let me grab a piece of paper. I want everybody, if you're not driving, and if, you know, I know some people got, you know, but I want you to take a piece of paper. This is another little breakthrough training concept I do, and I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you in just a minute. So I want you to write the word service. S-E-R-V. Come on, Bill. I don't see you writing.
I'm working on it. Hold on.
There you go. Right. Okay. That's it. Don't call me out. Okay. Write the word service. By the way, folks, I hope you understand. You see how you can mix business and pleasure. You can enjoy what you're doing. See, somebody said actually it was me that said it, but if you do what you love long enough, people will love to pay you for what you do. Ooh, they didn't hear that. Okay, so put 2 vertical lines through the S, and then 1 vertical line through the C, and now you see that service is the dollar and cents of everything that we do. So I don't make my money at the expense of people. I make my money at the service of people. And it was Jesus even said the servant is the greatest of all. Literally in the Greek, sales is the word same as service, but literally the servant is the greatest of all. And on a business sense, that means the more people you serve, the greater you will be, great in influence and also great in income. So show me somebody like Madam C.J. Walker that solved a problem for women way back in the day, and she became the first, not first African-American millionaire, first female millionaire, period, because she developed something that solved the problem for a lot of people. Bill Gates became rich. Why? He solved the problem for a whole lot of people. And folks, surely there's something you have that'll solve the problem for somebody, and all you have to learn to do is get very good at explaining and meeting those people, connecting to those people, and letting them know what you have that could assist them in what you need. Now, yesterday was my wife and I's anniversary, right? So I'm trying my best not to do business on my anniversary, but you know, but it's part of the territory. So we're out eating at the restaurant, and we got the best service we've ever received. I mean, incredible. And then at the end, the waitress gave us a little note, and she had written a personal note. Matter of fact, I even got it in my wallet, right? It was last night. My wife said, baby, isn't that so sweet? I said, yes. And so her name was Rebecca. And I said to Rebecca, what do you do? And she looked at me and she said, well, what do you mean? She said, well, I work here at the restaurant. She said, I'm a single mother. I got a 4-year-old boy. I said, okay, but we travel for a living. And I said, we've had so many people wait on us. We've been to so many restaurants. Your service has to be the best, if not one of the best, if not the best we've ever had. And I don't remember ever. I've seen people write thank you notes, but I've never seen anybody write a whole note. And it really impressed my wife and I, and your service was just impeccable. And so I said, you know, so she said, well, you know, I need to really do something else because I'm not making enough money where I'm at.
Right.
Oh. Right. So I said, well, you know what? I said, I teach people how to make money on the internet, and I said, I coach people. I tell you what, send me your email. I'll send you some information. If it's something that can help you supplement your income, fine. I said, but, ever since I married my wife, she's never had to work outside the homes because we've brought enough money in to take care of that. And I said, and so if it's something that can help you, fine. If not, she, oh, my goodness, I've been looking for something.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? And so I just got her email, got home to send her a quick email or whatever, So what I'm saying is it's a lifestyle. So I tell people, being an entrepreneur it's not something you do. It's a lifestyle. But if you do it correctly, it's welcome and it's received. And I get people that thank me all the time for introducing them to business opportunities, for selling them things. That's when you know it's good, see, because again, here, let me give you this and I'm going to turn it back to you. I say if it's not win, 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 I'm not in. The customer has to win, the company has to win, I have to win. If it's not win, 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 I'm not in. See, a lot of salespeople do win-lose. They win, the customer loses, right? Or the company wins. No, it's got to be win, 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 or we're not in. And that's what I love about you guys, the energy you give. And as a matter of fact, you had Alicia on the interviewed her, and I was speaking for her and her husband at a conference years ago, and I was telling you, Lem, I got another breakthrough with them because I used to sell someone else's coaching program.
Right.
Alicia said, Dr. Breakthrough, she said, you are so incredible. People would pay you. Now listen to this. I was like, well, why would they want to pay me for my coaching and then get my mentor? I mean, his business was doing, look, in the 70s, $63 million a month.
Woo.
I never kept talking to him one time. I said, and by the way, I get to speak with Les Brown, and we do several seminars together and so forth. He even wrote the foreword for this book, Your Breakthrough's Guaranteed. And, we talk a lot on phones. Matter of fact, recently I called his phone, and he says, as Dr. Breakthrough says, I was like, man, you quote me all the time. I'm going to quote you. But he said, hey, that's fine. And he said, just give me the credit the first 3 times, and after that, you keep it. But anyway, but the whole thing about selling, being a blessing, being a help to person, and I forgot where I was going with that, but anyway, maybe we'll come back to it later, but it'll come back to you.
Hey, I'm just letting you handle it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Alicia, and the mentor.
Let me give you a principle, people. Write this down, because note takers are money makers. Ooh, did he just say that? Yeah. I said note takers are money makers, and the weakest ink, watch this now, the weakest ink is stronger than the strongest memory, right? Especially when you start hitting your 50s, right? So I happen to be 54. By the way, Lem, I never say old. After 40, it's wise. So I'm 54 years wise.
Wise. I love it.
So watch this. When you undervalue, here it is. This is a breakthrough. This helped me to get a breakthrough. When you undervalue, by the way, it's Dr. Breakthrough. I've had more breakthroughs probably than anybody else. So I ain't like this guy sitting on this plateau pedestal somewhere. I'm like, no, this is just stuff I had to have breakthrough in there, and I just figured if it helped me, it's going to help somebody else. That's why I always love to speak to people, because I always know somebody's life's going to be changed, because I only talk about what changed my life. And if it changed me, we've got similarities. And so anyway, so if you undervalue who you are, you and the rest of the world will undervalue what you have to offer. Oh, my goodness. Let that sink in. When you undervalue who you are, you and the rest of the world will undervalue what you have to offer. See, I was overvaluing my mentors and everything else and undervaluing myself, right?
Right.
And so Alicia helped me. She said, Dr. Breakthrough. She said, you have helped me tremendously. You've helped show me. She said, you can coach people. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Well, but he's already got his, and I'm sure. She said, Doc. I said, well, I don't even know how to put together a coaching program. We sat down in her office. She showed me a few things, gave me some ideas. That's okay. The next day I got to speak and sold my coaching program tens of thousands of dollars, where I was like, whoa. And I was shocked, man. I was like, wow. And I was getting 50% of what I was doing with him. I was getting 100% of what was not doing with me. I was like, you know what? I like this. But again, sometimes you're too close to the forest to see the trees, and there's so many of you that I'm talking to right now. You don't understand how powerful you are. You don't understand how you have something of value, and there are people that will, again, I do things free a lot of time, but there are people that will pay you for your expertise, pay you for your experiences, pay you for the things, and you keep thinking you're not that good, and because you think you're not that good, you don't operate with a spirit of excellence like you could and like you would. I put this on Facebook today. Man, I had a breakthrough this morning, right? Earlier, here's what I put on Facebook. Your marriage, life, your business, or you does not have to be perfect in order to be awesome.
Oh, right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
See, listen. You don't have to be perfect to be awesome. You are awesome, and So I said you got to learn to let your awesomeness shine through. And I'm telling you, so that's why I love again what you're doing, because there's so many gifts and talents and things that, Lem, I didn't even in the early days. I never believed in myself. It was always somebody, a mentor, somebody else outside of me that saw something in me. And we through Harvey's window in psychology, there's a training that we understand. There's a part of us that we can't see that other people can see, right? And as a matter of fact, let's have some fun. Right? If you put your arms out to your side, right, and then bring them back to you can't see them anymore in your peripheral vision. So in other words, you can't see your arms where they are now, right? So here on the side, I can see them from my peripheral vision. But if I come back a little bit further, right, you can't see them, right? All right, everybody do this now. Let me show you something. Just because you can't see your arms doesn't mean they're not there.
That's true.
Just because you can't see your greatness, your awesomeness, doesn't mean it's not there. So God sends people. He gets you to get books and trainings and mentors and coaches to help you bring it out. And the beautiful thing is, this back here is called my blind spot. This is why I've got to have coaches and mentors, somebody outside of me who can have my back and see what I can't see. Some cases, they leave me because I'm about to do something back here can hurt me. And in other cases, they're pushing me. Come on now. Pushing me. Life only begins at the end of your conference. Man, I better stop. I sound like I'm preaching, don't I? But anyway, somebody needed that, man. But I'm telling you, man. You can't even see it now. I didn't see when I was young. I didn't see me doing what I'm doing now. Matter of fact, I thought it was impossible. You know, next week I'll be traveling, speaking out in North Carolina. Me, Les Brown, Joe Dudley with Dudley Hair Products, other folks. Powerful Tawana Williams. You got to get her on the show. Hint, hint. She was born. Yeah, powerful woman. But anyway, so watch this. We're speaking together. And I got a bed of nails. I'm going to lay on my bed of nails, put 100 pounds of bricks on my stomach, let a guy take a sledgehammer and break it off. As a matter of fact, people go to my website, www.drbreakthrough.com. You'll see me come out, talk for a while, and all of a sudden bricks appear in front of me. And on the bricks, I have things written like fear, procrastination. And I talk for a while, then I break them, right? So I lay on these nails, bricks on my stomach. Guy takes a sledgehammer, breaks it off while I'm laying on razor sharp nails. And then I jump up and speak. When I speak, everybody goes, yes, sir, whatever you say, man. But by the way, Lem, I found out if you can't speak all that good, if you break stuff real good, they'll listen anyway.
Right? That's the best way to pay attention to you.
But, man, I used to think that was impossible. And I used to think there's no way. And, by the way, I was 16 when my pastor, you know, he said, man, I want you to come at church. I want you to do a little demonstration, do your breaking. I was like, at church? This is back in 1976, right? It's like, who? I was like, well, you're the pastor. But he said, yeah, I think it'll get some young people to come in from the inner city. And so I did that. When I did that, there was some people visiting from other churches. They said, can you come do it? I'd never done it before for a church. I said, sure. And then talk a little bit. And I did that. And then one church, a guy said, well, man, my employees need to see you, man. I'll pay you. Listen, I'll pay you to come and speak to my employees. Another guy said, I'll pay you to come speak to the school. And I was like, oh, okay. And, man, that was years ago. And I just been traveling all over, you know, doing that. But I'm saying, if you'd have told me, I was like, there was no way I could have believed it. Like I told young people when I was speaking in Barbados, if I'd have killed myself, I'd have never seen the day to see all these great things happening. So I know right now somebody that's listening to this or somebody that watches the replay or whatever, you might be in a hopeless situation, but I'm trying to tell you, my friend, God can turn that thing around. Get with somebody, man. I'd love to talk to you, encourage you. Of course, Bill, Lem, these guys. But you listen, there's life outside of what you see. Yes. I know it seems like a hopeless situation, but I'm telling you, my friend, you can break through that. I'm living proof of it. And Lem, I'm going to turn it back to you, but make sure before I close out, I got to give you my best breakthrough illustration. As a matter of fact, I get so excited when I hear it myself. But let me turn it back to you for a while, man. I've been talking.
Hey, let me tell you real quick. Jim says, Jim's giving you a shout out. Says, Stan is great. Thank you for having on Cover Joe. Very inspiring. I love that, brother. See, you touching one person, they already verified.
Well, I appreciate that because I didn't touch myself already too, man. and by the way, I showed up on your show today because I heard one of my favorite speakers was going to be speaking, so I had to show up to hear him.
There you go.
Now listen, that sounds self-serving, but that is really the truth. Let me tell you the truth. When I didn't like my speaking, nobody else liked it. Let me say it again. When I didn't like my speaking, nobody else seemed to like it either. Or if they did, they never told me.
Right.
So one day it dawned on me, I may not be as good as this or good as that or like this person, but there's something unique about me, right? And if I'll just work on being the best me I can be. Now, being the best me means learning some stuff from you, learning stuff from Alicia, learning stuff from Bill, learning stuff from this guy, learning stuff from Les, you know, I'm like a sponge, man. I just learn, and we learned that in martial arts, by the way. Everybody knows something I do not know. Hence, I want to find out what it is and learn it for myself. You can't hurt me by helping me to be better. I mean, hello, please teach me whatever I need to learn, right? I am never too proud or arrogant to think I've arrived. No, man, it's life's a journey. So I'm always learning. I'm always wanting to grow, and I'm always wanting to grab hold of these things. So anyway, so it dawned on me, I've got something that somebody else doesn't have. And so I just started learning to appreciate me and liking me. And it's amazing. And so one day I decided, you know what? I'm one of my favorite speakers, not because I sound good, but because what I speak about is something that changed me and helped me to be better. So I take what changed me, I make it a speech, and I speak. So from that standpoint, we were out eating yesterday, my wife, and we were just talking about things. She said, babe, you know, my sister told me that you're one of the best speakers she's ever heard in her life. I was like, what? Now the sister she said is the rough sister, the one that, you know, she got this like very analytical, you got to be perfect. Like, she's like, right, I said, wait a minute, that means something come from her. I said, but you know, baby, what's the most impressive thing to me? And she said, what's that? I said, the fact that the most beautiful woman in the world, this woman that's beautiful on the inside and out, that I'm looking at right now, you told me one time that I was your favorite speaker. She said, baby, you still my favorite speaker. I said, that's all I need.
That's all I need.
But seriously, I think we're in a day and age where people want to hear something that's authentic. And I want to drop some nuggets real quick. And that is, every master was at once a mess. Therefore, every mess can one day be a master through mentorship.
Absolutely.
And when a mess becomes a master, you got a message, and when you get it to the masses, you'll make millions. Oh, come on, man, come on.
Man.
Wait a minute. Let me. I got to write that down myself. Come on.
Hey, I'm waiting for the replay so I can go back and write that down.
But let me say it again, because I'm talking to somebody. They feel like their business is a mess. They feel like their marriage is a mess. They feel like their life is a mess. Folks, I'm telling you, the people you look up to, the people you admire, the people you respect, the people you have this awe about, you don't know it, but one day they were a mess. And if they're not honest enough to tell you that, I'm going to tell you. And if worse come to worse, they may have been perfect growing up, but when they was born, they was a mess. They messed all over themselves. Somebody had to clean them up, right? So I'm telling you, every master was at once a mess. Therefore, every mess can one day be a master, and you accelerate that process through mentorship, right? And when a mess becomes a master, you now have a message that you can get to the masses. And when you get that to the masses, you can make millions. So you say, well, I don't want to make millions. Okay, well, you can make as much as you want, but I want to be blessed so I can be a blessing to others. So I don't know if you lost me or not. The screen is dark.
No, we hear you. We hear you.
Oh, you hear? Okay. So I want to encourage you. And by the way, I just came up with this the other day. Some of the masters are still a mess in some areas. But you know what? But the beautiful thing is, you have something to offer. And you just have to find out what that thing is and offer it. And I'm telling you, you're going to bless people. You're going to encourage people. And, you know, different people, different ways. But I get extra blessed when I'm able to help and empower others. And so, again, that's why I'm going to say that again. I love what you guys are doing, man, because the intent that you have here is to uplift others. And when you uplift and help others, and somebody said one time, I never forgot, they said, be good to everybody because everybody's having a rough time.
Oh.
Right? That's in, you know, different areas of life, different people, you know. Right? They can have all the money, they can have great business success, and maybe one of their children is often crazy in left field somewhere, and they're, you know, are they going to have everything going great, and then their health is, or whatever. So everybody's got, so be good to everybody because everybody in some area of life is having a tough time, even though they don't show it. And by the way, one of my best friends, he's like, man, before I knew you, I thought you didn't have any problems. He said, man, you're always so happy. He said, now that I know you, how do you even smile all the stuff that you're dealing with? I said, because I'm dealing with it. It ain't dealing with me. Now,
there you go.
It does. And thank God for my wife who encourages. Someone said, well, who motivates the motivator? I was like, Miss Motivator. And sometimes I got to motivate myself. So every day I do what's called a daily victory confession. And I have something that and if you just want to get your iPhone, download for free the Dr. Breakthrough app. I have a bunch of audio and videos, powerful things in there, and my daily attitude adjuster that motivates people, and it's incredible. And that's absolutely free, by the way. So just go to drbreakthroughapp.com. The Bible teaches me if I give, I'll receive. So somebody asked me, man, why, I don't understand. Why do you do that? Well, you know, I give it, pay for the thing every month. I had to pay a lot to get it made, but hey, guess what? It empowers a lot of people, and in some cases I've had people that got that downloaded that app, and they're like, man, you need to have this guy come speak. And when they have me come speak, they pay me, so it paid for more than whatever, you know. So it all works. It all works itself out, right?
Man,
Dr. Breakthrough, how can we find you again?
Man, you look up in the sky.
You see a star at night, and there he is.
No, seriously though, I say this. I say I soar with the eagles. I run with the runners. Occasionally, I walk with the walkers. I don't have a whole lot of time to talk with the talkers. I'm not going to sit with the sitters, and I'll never quit with the quitters. So let me know which one you are, and I'll know what we can do. But I believe we're going to fly together. So contact me. Go to www.drbreakthrough.com. That's my website, and you'll see my email. By the way, email is just drbreakthrough@AOL. That's right. I still got AOL.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yes. And I'm going to give my cell phone. I'm crazy. I'll give my cell phone. Now, I won't answer it. Okay, but you can call, and if you leave a message, now here's what I tell you: if you leave a message, I promise I'll call you back. If you don't leave a message, I promise I will not call you back. I'm too busy. I don't look through to see missed calls. But anyway, one time a person called me, and I happened to be free, and I picked up the phone. They're like, "Man, I didn't want you to answer." I was like, "What do you mean?" They said, "Well, your message is so encouraging." I had a friend that was discouraged. I said, listen, I'm going to three-way you in to hear this man's voice message. When you hear this, it's going to make your day. So they said, please hang up so we can call back and don't answer it so we can hear your answering machine. So here's my number, 717-275-3508. That's 717-275-3508. Okay, and don't call me unless you want to be blessed, uplifted, empowered. My wife Nadia, I call her my ABCD. That stands for Adorable Brown Caramel Delight. Hey, Lamb, I tell people, I was preaching at church, I said this woman is eye candy, brain food, and spiritual refreshment in one petite package. And I told her not long ago, I said, baby, I said, your eyes are like floating upon saucers of milk, and when I'm in your arms, everything's okay. But watch this. But we say this, we're a covenant couple building covenant relationships based on the covenant of promise, and we aspire to inspire breakthroughs even after we've expired. So, you know, everywhere we were traveling, people kept saying, man, how'd you all meet? And we would tell them, they're like, oh, you need to write a book about that. Well, you know, Lem, after about 45 people saying that, I said to my wife, we just missed the opportunity to bless people and make some money. So guess what just came out? Our newest book called Computer Love, How to Find the Love of Your Life on or offline. So it's our story and its principles on how to find the love of your life. And that just came out, by the way, and it's, of course, on Kindle and so forth. But check out ChristianComputerLove.com. ChristianComputerLove.com. That's a picture of me and my wife kissing my wife. Well, my son, one time he said, why y'all kissing all the time? I said, Coach, well, he said, when I grow up, can I be in love one day?
That's funny.
Oh, wow, man.
But let me give you my best illustration of a breakthrough real quick. So here you go. So it's like a rocket ship. How many ever seen that rocket ship take off? And when the rocket ship takes off, there's a whole lot of combustion, but it moves very slowly, right? You see it on TV, it just moves slowly. And that's what happens a lot of time in businesses, in relationships, in life, whatever. In the beginning, you get all this, there's all this combustion, all this energy, and it's like it's barely moving, right? It's like barely. And a lot of times people get frustrated, and so I tell people, you got to learn to take the E out of B so you can C. Now, you heard your ABCs. This is EBC. What does that mean? Take the E, emotion, out of B, business, so you can see greater success. See, if the rocket ship were human, it would be emotional. It would say, I'm doing all this work, and I don't see much happening, so I think I'll just quit. No, the rocket ship's not human. It doesn't run based off its emotion, so guess what? It just does what it was designed to do, so it keeps on keeping on. And after a while, it starts gaining momentum, and it starts going faster and faster and faster. And right before it breaks through what we call escape velocity, or the Earth's atmosphere, all of a sudden it begins to rotate wildly, almost as if it's about to be shaken to pieces. And all over the world where I travel, I meet people. They've done everything they know to do in their business, and it's like it's shaken to pieces. Everything they know to do in that relationship is like it's shaken to pieces. Everything they know to do spiritually, it's like it's shaken to pieces. But listen, if the rocket ship were human, it'd say something like this: I can't take this anymore. Right. But again, the rocket ship is not human, doesn't run off its emotions. It just does based on what it's programmed to do. So guess what? In the next instant, bam, it breaks through the Earth's atmosphere, and now that same rocket ship is traveling 25,000 miles per hour, and it will virtually use no more fuel for the rest of the trip. Now watch this. Out of the 1 million pounds of fuel that a rocket ship uses, 95% is from takeoff to escape velocity. Once it breaks to escape velocity, it now virtually does effortlessly what at one time took a whole lot of effort. And I'm telling you, my friend, if you just keep on keeping on, listen, that's why you need to get, again, I've got a coaching series. I mean, books, CDs, being on this show, just keep learning, keep growing, because I'm telling you, my friend, when you finally get your breakthrough, I'm telling you, what used to take so much effort now becomes effortless. I used to see people speak. I was like, man, how do they know how to say all that stuff? I could never do that. Now it's effortless. Right? So I'm telling you, my friend, so many of you like that rocket ship, you can do that. And they also tell me, and I talk about it again in the book, they tell me that when they're breaking the rocks, they tell me that the hammersmith, he can hit a rock 99 times and not one single crack, nothing. But sometimes 100, nothing. That 101, the next time he hits it, it breaks right open. And sometimes in business, man, you're hitting it, you're hitting it, you're hitting it, you're hitting it, you're hitting it. It doesn't feel like nothing's happening. You don't even see a crack. You don't see a chip. Hitting it, hit nothing. But guess what? You just got to be diligent. You got to be focused. You got to be determined. And you keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. Right about the time you think, I'm about to quit, I'm going to hit one more time. Bam, it breaks open. And that's been the story of my life. So I'm telling you, my friend, listen, you must keep on keeping on. When things go wrong, as sometimes will, and the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. The camera is pressing you down a bit. Rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns. And many a struggler turns about. When they might have won, they stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out. The superintendent of the cloud of doubt, he never can tell how close you are. Victory may be near, though it seems afar. So stick to the fight. Your hardest hit is when things seem worse that you just Mustn't quit. Hey, my name is Dr. Stan Harris. They call me Dr. Breakthrough. Check me out, www.drbreakthrough.com. If you want a free 40-minute training on selling without being a sellout, go to Breakthrough Selling Systems with S, breakthroughsellingsystems.com, and you get a free download. If you want to buy my course, you can. Don't have to. It's all right. But if you want to, we'd love to have you.
Man, boy, this was like we went to an event right here on Saturday Cup of Joe, baby.
I feel like that too.
Man, I tell you what, that was awesome, Dr. Stan, Dr. Breakthrough. I'm so glad you live in Texas, in my area, because you and I, you done found your new best friend.
And we wait for Bill to move on in. Tell Bill they got space over here.
I love it. I love it. All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed Dr. Breakthrough here. I know you guys going to love the replay. No matter what you're going through this week, you're going to watch this replay, and those who are on right now are blessed. I'm getting my phone's blowing up right now with people.
Now, Lynn, let me put in the plug. We need to have a live event here in Dallas, and I'll even agree to be one of the speakers.
Oh.
Hey, let's do this thing live. See, I teach people, when you mix high touch with high tech, you earn a bigger check.
Yes.
So,
hey, we need to work on that, man. That's definitely something that needs to be done in this area. I was talking to a few people that I meet up with on Tuesdays, and we were thinking about how Dallas is a place where needs stuff like this.
Well, bro, I'm from Pennsylvania. I used to fly into Dallas all the time to do meetings, and so that's why I was like, I met my wife, and I was like, well, might as well move here, you know. But I always tell people, by the way, if you're waiting for me, you're late. So I got my date book. What date we want to do? But hey, by the way, let me throw in one last. Can I do a shameless promotion? I got a training. One of my trainings where I teach people, is all based on self-development, personal development, and we show people how to increase through personal development and self-worth. But just check out this website if it's a blessing to you. If not, don't worry about it. But it's www.nationalwealthmentor.com. Nationalwealthmentor.com. I do some simple mentoring there, but nationalwealthmentor.com is a little program I help people with. $25, help them get started and help change their life. And again, it's something that's just a blessing. I tell people, when was it Mayweather and Pacquiao fought? Was it $300 million?
Yeah.
And but dude was running around shaking his head. But anyway, but watch this though. I tell people, I went to bed and woke up and I made money. And I didn't have to throw a punch. I didn't have to run from the punch.
You didn't even have to show up in the ring.
Hey, woke up and made money while sleeping. And again, I used to hear people talk about that limit. I thought, man, that's crazy. So everybody needs some supplemental income to supplement what they're doing, and by the grace of God, I hadn't had to work a job since 1990. My last job, I was a college professor. I used to stand up there and totally promulgate my esoteric cogitations and articulate my superficial sentimentalities with amicable and philosophical psychological observations and beware platitudinous ponderosities. And I even knew how to let my extemporaneous verbal evaporations demonstrate a clarified conciseness, no previous granity, but in June bafflement. Now I don't have to do all that. Right. I can make money right here from my computer, man. But whatever somebody's doing, man, I'm telling you, there's another level. You can break through. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So all successful people learn to be uncomfortable. And actually, we learn to get comfortable in an uncomfortable situation, because that's when the greatness comes out that you didn't even know was there. So break through.
Nice. All right, guys. You can see the replay of this on SaturdayCupOfJoe.com, SaturdayCupOfJoe.com/live. And we will have those links available for you on Dr. Stan's bio. And you know where to find them. It's on there. Of course, if you need the numbers and all, you can look for replay. I want to thank Rebecca for setting this all up. And Dr. Stan, you and I are going to go ahead.
Alicia, too.
Oh yeah, Alicia as well. well, reason why you're here. Awesome. Thank you for your blessing today, man. For being here, we're grateful for you. Just wishing blessings on your family and wishing the best for you. And I gotta have you back on. And we gotta do things together, brother.
Well, if you're waiting for me, you're what? You're late.
Yeah, that's right. You're late. Exactly.
So you got my number, 717-275-3508. Call me up.
Nice. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for coming on. Bill, you have anything else you want to add? Bill? I think Bill's gone. He's frozen.
I lost you guys.
Is there anything you want to add, Bill? Why we leave?
No, that was a very awesome hour. I don't honestly.
Let me say something about you, Bill. You a brother like no other. You master cancer. You too strong to be weak, too sweet to be sour. You can't take credit as God's power. Oh man.
Nice. All right, guys. We'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you next week. Have a great week, and make sure you keep pushing on, no matter what. Like he says, keep going, because it ain't all about you. Keep going. All right, we love you, man. Hey, see you next week. Same time, play.